No, we're not. We are now recording, so I will keep on checking the equipment every now and again.
Okay.
Hello, Joe.
Hello, Toby.
Thank you for being on the channel, and
No problem.
thank you for coming along. So people assume that Serebii is, like, you were saying, like a group of people.
Yeah.
It's just you.
Pretty much, yeah.
This is the Serebii, everyone. I have some questions for you that I've sourced from a number of different places, other poker tubers, the community. We're going to be answering some of your questions. Some of my own that I'm dying to know the answers to. How did you start Serebii? Where did that idea come from, and when was that?
Well, it was back in 1999.
Okay, right.
Many years ago. It's 18 years old as of October.
Okay, right.
So I was at school, it was a lunchtime, the internet had just, really taken off in England.
I like the idea you're sitting there at lunch and someone's just like, by the way, the internet just happened. You're like, oh, I got an idea.
But I was bored, but there were websites and GeoCities had sprung up, which was Yahoo's thing of like, build your own website. Here's a URL, you can do what you want with it. And I was like, okay, I'll build something. Pokemon hadn't quite started in the UK. But
right. I
had been a fan for a while because I had imported the games.
Okay.
Because a friend had come back from holiday from America. It's like, look at these. And it's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
They're pretty cool. And I'd read about them and I was like, you know what, I'm going to bug my mum to import this.
Was that like Red and Blue days then?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
It was before Red and Blue came out here. They had been out in America for a few months.
Wow, so you really started on the whole Pokemon thing before Pokemon was even here in Europe here?
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa.
But I just gradually built it and built it and built it and built it.
I mean, it's still standing today and it's probably the most popular sort of Pokemon fan site in general, so, good work. Is there because I always wonder this, when we get into sort of new game season, when a new game gets announced, what do you face any particular challenges? What changes about the way you operate the site and you live?
Well, I'm less inclined to go on big trips once I know a game's coming, because then you never know when news is going to come up. Something might just show up in a random Japanese magazine, or they just might say, you know what, we're revealing some information today. Or
sure.
Some leaks might come from Japan. And so I've always got to be on guard, so I've always got to have my laptop with me now.
Just on the toilet, just like...
Well, not...
It's there, it's ready to go.
Well, not that with me all the time. But,
okay, sure.
But if I'm going somewhere, if I'm just going into town or to the beach, I have my laptop with me.
I mean, that's hardcore dedication right there. Do you have any particularly fond Serebii-related memories?
A few. I mean, there's the first time people were recognising me. That was nice. That was actually only fairly recently, comparatively. Diamond and Pearl, the release there, that was before we had leaks of the entire lineup of Pokemon before release. And so we were discovering Pokemon. And that was always big and exciting. It's like going into a route and there was Serebii. Nobody had discovered that yet.
Right, sure.
And I posted it to the site and it's like, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's not that great a Pokemon, but that's pretty cool.
So you were discovering stuff in-game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because data mining wasn't quite a thing for the DS back then. No leaks. It was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, a commonly asked question across Twitter was, what kind of features would you like to see in the next Pokemon game? I'm sure you get asked this a lot.
It's really hard because I always say, oh, I'm really happy, I don't want anything else. And then they reveal a new feature. I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
Sure.
So like when Black and White was nearing the end and people were like, oh, they should go 3D on the 3DS. I was like, no, sprites are great. 3D models would ruin it. Then X and Y came out. I was like, this is amazing.
Sure.
But I don't know. I mean, following Pokemon, even though it's functionally useless, that's always a good feature.
It's a weird level of charm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where there's... I don't know what it is about Pokemon following you. It makes you feel like you are so engrossed in the world.
Exactly. Unless you've got a Goldeen following you. It's like...
Yeah, or you've got like Whale Lord following you, but it takes up 2 blocks, and you're like, there's no way that makes sense. What I do on my channel is I do Pokemon theories, normally. Do you have any Pokemon theories? Is there any that you're particularly fond of, and you're like, oh, I wish that was canon?
The whole Butterfree Venomoth thing is an interesting one.
Okay, right.
Because how Venonat looks like it would evolve into Butterfree and Metapod would...
Yeah, there's like design aspects that are... Yeah.
Yeah, so theory behind reasons for that, I mean, you never know. It could be like the Shelmet, Escavaliers, Carablast and Excelgor stuff.
It's weird. The thing with Venonat and Butterfree, I don't think I noticed it for years. And then someone just pointed it out. And you're like, they are the same!
Exactly.
What is going on there? Okay, something cool, actually, well, we're still on a semi-serious note, is Serebii got officially recognised by Pokemon. You have a section on the site called PokeEarth. You know where I'm going with this. And did you know that they were planning on putting your PokeEarth map into the game? Do you have any idea that was going on?
No, I had no idea, and I didn't believe it. And I don't think it was that intentional. I think they just looked up something on Google and put it up. I don't think it was necessarily this is from Serebii.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think they probably went, yeah, Serebii. Oh, that's cool. That's a thing we can put in.
I'd like to think so, but I really doubt that. But...
So you think it's more likely just someone at Pokemon just went, oh, we need a picture of the Pokemon Earth. Okay, PokeEarth. Google and just copy-pasted it in.
It's possible, but I mean, I don't know why that didn't come up in my head when you asked about milestones.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. How did you feel when you saw it in the game?
Well, I didn't. Well, I didn't pay attention to it, and like someone linked me to a thread on Game FAQs about it, and I was like, no, that can't be true. That can't be true. So I asked my data mining friends and said, can you try and find this one little sprite in the entire game's library? And they're like, yeah, okay. And like a day later, said, Joe, we found it. And I was like, what's that?
That's amazing, though.
It was just so bizarre to see it. It's like, I can't believe it. I mean, I co-created it with a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. She was a chat staff member years ago. She helps me with some translations here and there. But it's just so stunning, and because of it, I don't want to change it. Yeah,
so we've had this conversation. I also have a PokeEarth. I've done 3 videos exploring how it works. When are you going to put mine in there, Joe? When am I going to be on the site?
When it's in the games.
When it's in the games? I can't be in the games till I'm on the site. I love that thought, though, and actually I was inspired to make those videos, of course, by seeing yours. And do you get that a lot with the people who end up doing stuff based on the fact that you've done it?
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of people saying that they had an idea based on something I did, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, people come to me for advice, I give it to them. So
cool. Is it nice to feel like you're having an impact in the Pokemon community in a very big, Serebii itself is having a very big impact, like everyone's heard of it.
And it's still astonishing. I just think of it as, this is my hobby, this is just what I do in my off time. But then people are like, oh, a friend of mine uses your site. I'm like, what? And when I meet people who say, oh yeah, your site's amazing, I'm like, okay.
I think
it just stuns me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been using it since I was like 10, 11. I remember...
That makes me feel old.
It was an issue of Pokemon World magazine, which is a magazine we had here in the UK. It doesn't exist anymore. But it was an issue. It had Croconaw on the cover, and it was about the time that Fire Red and Leaf Green were coming out. And I remember seeing about this website, Serebii, then. And that's when I sort of started jumping on board with it. And it's gotten to the point where I remember through school, college, and uni, the sites I'd visit would be like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Serebii. Oh. You'd be the only other site. Like, what else do you use the internet for other than social media and Serebii? It's pretty cool. Are there any other Pokemon community big projects that you're sort of involved in that people might not know about?
Well, I just opened something up just to chill.
Oh, yeah, let's do a plug.
Basically, there have been people going on about how the Pokemon Company don't often state when something new has entered the VGC metagame.
Sure.
And so I've opened up a Twitter account which doesn't have the Serebii label on it.
Okay.
Which is basically just going to tweet out whenever a new move has been given to a Pokemon, like, say, Celebrate Alolan Vulpix, which is a thing, which can change Alolan Vulpix. I mean, put Z Crystal on it, turn it into Z Celebrate, boosts all of Ninetales' stats by 1 stage. That's pretty good.
Sure.
And that changes it slightly competitively. And so people, they often just, like, don't know it when they see it, and they're like, why didn't they tell us this? Because it's from an obscure Japanese event.
Right, okay.
And so this Twitter, it will just tell
Get the information out there. And if you're interested in knowing what that is, the Twitter link's on the screen. What's it called?
Pokemon Legality.
At Pokemon Legality?
Yeah.
Was that Pokemon Go going off?
It was Pokemon Go.
So you're highly credited with being the source of information for a lot of people. For a lot of people, when new games are coming out, if you want to know if something's legit, you check Serebii. How do you know to avoid posting anything that's like? How do you know? Okay, that's got to be fake. And have you ever been stumped by fake news?
There have been a couple of times where I've fallen for something, but only for a couple of minutes. I wake up, someone says, Joe, this is leaked, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll put it up, and then I look at it because it's like 2:30 a.m.
Right.
I look at it and I think, yeah, no, that's not right. It's hard to discern. It's kind of ineffable. It's just, I can look at it and it's like, yeah, that's legit. I can look at it and like, no, that's not.
Sure.
Because Koro and things like that, they've got a specific style and it's easy to...
You just, that into like the Sherlock of Koro.
Pretty much.
Like, you can see any missing details. One of my favourite things about Serebii is the anime character decks, or the character profiles, the bios.
And how they've fallen into disarray.
I've been asked to ask you, I think by the Alchemist, do you regret starting up a page for every single minor character?
Yes, I do. I ended up stopping doing it because it's like, how can I write this character appeared in this episode? They live in here. They said hello once.
Finish the sentence. I like shorts. They're easy and comfy to...
Wear.
No, the correct answer is wash. Sorry. Would you say Bulbasaur is your favourite Pokemons?
No.
Okay. Would you say Ivysaur is your favourite Pokemons?
Are you just going to go through the entire list?
What about Venusaur?
You're just going to go through the entire list of Pokemon.
Zebstrika? Okay, look. Forget about that. How do you catch a Yoshi in Pokemon? How do you...
Oh, you need to catch all the Pokegods, don't you?
Yeah, you need to get the 7 Sages Pokegods and you catch Yoshi...
In Bill's
Where?
Garden.
In Bill's Garden, right.
Yeah.
Horribly
there were
wrong.
so many ridiculous rumours back in the day of
Yeah.
Nido God and a fully formed Charizard evolution. Like that ended up happening with Mega Evolution.
So I got a ton of other great questions here. So, first of all, do you think Pokemon have internal organs?
Well, I imagine they kind of have to.
Okay. What about Pokemon like Bronzor or Matang?
Well, if they're living creatures, they'd need to have some sort of...
Organs.
Yeah.
Okay, then the follow-up question is, can Metagross fart, and do you think Mega Metagross can fart?
Who asked that?
No, I cannot disclose who asked that.
It has to eat, the digestive system does produce gas, so I'm going to say, sure, why not?
Confirmed, Serebii said it, Metagross farts. Okay, so I made a lot of Pokemon theories on my channel. What do you think about the theory that Pokemon and X-Men are set in the same universe, and the X-Men are just like people Pokemon hybrids?
Is that a thing?
Yes, I made that.
I've never seen that.
Just now.
Oh, just now.
Literally just now. What do you think though? Should I make it as a video? That could get views, right?
Yeah.
Logan, out now. Hashtag not an ad.
No.
No? Well, do you know what? You come up with a theory. So, in the Can Live library in Sinnoh, there's a bit of text that talks about people and Pokemon sharing dinner together at the dinner table. But in the Japanese original thing, it talks about how people and Pokemon got married, right? So my question is, which Pokemon would you marry? If you had to marry Celebi, maybe?
I've never given it any thought.
Okay, if you had to. Sure, haven't given it any thought. If you had to.
Ditto, because it can turn into a human.
That's a bit of a cheat. Although, there was that one Ditto in the show that when it transformed, it kept Ditto's face. So do you think, like, if you had, like, you got married, but you're at the altar, you lift the veil, it's just Ditto's face, like, Ditto! And also, if you could eat a Pokemon, which Pokemon do you think you would want to try and eat? It sounds like, would it be like a legendary Pokemon or something?
Well, some Pokemon are mentioned being used as food.
Yeah.
So I'll just go for a Miltank burger.
Miltank burger. This is why Whitney's Miltank is so angry all the time. True Green 7 asks, what in your opinion is the best / most complete generation?
Most complete? Ooh, most complete, I would have to say Gen 5.
Gen 5?
Yeah.
Triggin will like that answer because he is a big Gen 5 guy. He loves Generation 5 of Pokemon. What was the first Pokemon you ever got to level 100?
Charizard.
Oh, right. On what? On the originals?
On Pokemon Red.
Hey!
It completely carried my team. I had like when I went to the Elite Four, I had like a level 70 Charizard, everything else was like level 20, level 30.
Yeah.
And I ended up going through the entire Elite Four. And once I got to Revival and like the last couple of Pokemon Revival, Charizard just had to struggle.
Okay.
And I managed to get through, and eventually it became level 100.
Amazing. Okay, while we're doing an interview, so what questions do you hate people asking you? What do you get like so much of that you're just so done, or you want a definitive answer out there?
When are the next games coming? I don't know.
Sure you don't. But Joe, when are the next games coming?
Sometime between now and the end of the universe.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
What is your most beloved memory with the games?
I'd probably be beating the Elite Four in Red originally.
With your level 100 struggling Charizard?
I wasn't level 100 yet, but
Ah.
I was getting there.
I had one recently playing through, or I say recently, about a year and a half ago, playing through Leaf Green, and the final battle had Gary's Alakazam, again, Blue's Alakazam, against my Hitmonlee. And I was like, that's it, I'm done, it's no hope. And for some reason, he kept on using Barrier, and I just kept on using Brick Break, which also counteracted Barrier, or Light Screen, or whatever it was he was using. And I beat it with a Hitmonlee, and I was so proud. But there was something like that in Twitch-based Pokemon, wasn't there? With Dragonite, we use agility. He was using agility on Venomoth because it was psychic versus.
Yeah, and because of how the AI was working in Gen 1.
Halo Ghost Films asks, which Pokemon region would you like to live in?
Oh.
Johto for me, for sure.
Kalos.
Really? Yeah?
Yeah, it's a beautiful region.
It is. It's very scenic.
And it's got a big city. I'm a bit of an urban person rather than rural. And the other regions are a bit more rural.
Right. See, I feel like with Johto, because Equitique City is like my favourite town, but I'd more likely live in Goldenrod because, again, I want the city life and like travel up just every now and again to be like, oh, I'm artsy, I'm hipster. I'll check out Equitique. Oh, that's it. So I am not going to pronounce this person's name. Something Mongoose asks, how did Flygon become the best Pokemon ever?
Because in Bizarro World, the opposite is always true. I'm kidding.
People like Flygon.
I'm kidding. I like Flygon too. It's just not the best competitively. I try to use it as much as possible, but...
Tasty Ham asks, why is it called Serebii?
Serebii is the literal translation of each of the characters of Celebi's Japanese name. And when I started the site, well, shortly after I started the site, it was originally Joe's Pokemon page, which was very original.
Yeah.
But then Gold and Silver started to come out, and we're getting the stuff from Japan, and Celebii got data mined because we had data mining for the Game Boy games.
Right, yeah.
Because there were so many sites like Muse Paradise, Muse Fountain, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to get in there straight away. And so I adopted the pseudonym for Celebii, the Japanese name, literal translation, Serebii.
Okay.
And they just continued on.
Okay, and finally, you obviously don't know what's coming next. But what do you think will happen next in, if you had to make your guess as to,
and this is not indicative of any insider knowledge. Just putting that
disclaimer. Are we looking at Switches? Are we looking at 3DSs? Are we looking at Diamond Pearl?
With
what
the
are you
way
thinking?
the Nintendo landscape is now, I wouldn't be surprised to have a game which is on 3DS and Switch.
I've been thinking about this. Okay. I'm thinking more along the lines of, do you remember how Red Rescue Team and Blue Rescue Team were on the DS and Game Boy Advance?
That could work.
It would be like Sun and Moon, but Sun would be on the Switch, Moon would be on the DS kind of thing.
That could work.
What do you think it will be? Do you think it will be another Alola game? Do you think we're going for Gen 4 remakes next? What are you thinking might happen?
I'd like another Alola game, but not like an enhanced version. I'd like a sequel like Black 2 and White 2 did.
Okay. RoboCheat, I think is the name, asks, did you ever expect Serebii to become so popular, and how does it feel now to be the creator of something that's had so much impact?
I never expected it to be popular, but I just hit the right niche, because if you're running a website and you're just doing the same thing as everyone else, you're not going to get very far. So you need to find a niche, and when I had gotten started, I was doing the same thing everyone else was doing.
Sure.
But I eventually made friends with some people in Japan, and I started covering things which were in the Japanese side of things, and no Western Pokemon website did that. And so that just snowballed, and it still astonishes me how popular the site is. Just want to thank everyone for using the site. I mean, it humbles me. And I know I've got a reputation around for being arrogant, but...
Do you? I haven't noticed this. I think you're fine. But no, I mean, we love your site. We come to your site because it's reliable, because we know the information there is always going to be, correct as far as we can tell. And if anything is wrong...
If you do find errors, let me know. I am not omnipotent, so I can't just fix it like that. I just need to know that it's there, then I can fix it.
I mean, I think you've got a fantastic site on your hands, and I also want to ask you if you have any sort of social medias, or if you have anything you'd like people to be following, if they want to stay up to date with the legitimate Pokemon news, and if they want to stay up to date with what's going on with you, if you're at events, that kind of thing.
Well, there's my Twitter, Joe Merrick. There's my site Twitter, SerebeeNet. There's the Facebook page, which is under the URL facebook.com/SerebeeNet page. I've got a YouTube, which I seldom use, but I sometimes do upload to. That's Serebee SPP. That's about it. And there's a Serebee Discord as well.
Oh, cool. There's a Serebee Discord. Well, all of that will be on screen and in the description, everything you need. And of course, the actual site, serebee.net. Keep using it. It's fantastic. We love it. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for spending some time with me. I've had fun.
No, me too.
And those next games, we're, Diamond and Pearl remakes. You don't worry. You don't have to say. But it's...
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. But you do have no idea.
I have no idea.
Okay. But like that's a there is you do have no idea, or there isn't, it won't be you do have no idea.
Oh, my brain hurts.